from the many realms of Aetheris to the distant reaches of the 13th via the magic of podcasting. This is episode 51 of A Podcast Reborn, a show celebrating our journey in the past, present, and possible future of Final Fantasy XIV. This episode is being recorded on Sunday, April 14th of 2024. As always, following podcasts may contain mature language and spoilers for the MSQ. My name is Brian Black, otherwise known as Ro, and we are, as of this recording, 75 days away from Dawntrail Early Access. And I still don't know what I'm going to do in the 48 hours before that starts.
Three-player Baldur's Gate 3 party?
That's an idea. The sounds that you heard, of course, are my two wonderful co-hosts. First off, from somewhere in California is our Chaos Gremlin, VTuber, webtoon artist, Catmom, and virtual zookeeper who can't get enough of an anime called Freerin. Hi, Megan.
Hello. Yes, I've been telling everybody to watch Freerin. So, hey, listeners, watch Freerin. It's real good, okay? And it's like 0% anime bullshit, which I know is usually what puts a lot of people off of watching anime, but like there's none.
So I actually, in preparation for this, because I figured you might say a little something about it, especially if I included that in the intro, I watched a little YouTube video from someone who's just talking about why they like the anime, and they didn't go too deep into plot stuff, but they basically went over basic concepts and why this is different from a lot of anime that's out there. And I'm like, you know what? Not only do I think I may give this a shot, but Brandon, this might be an anime you like.
Yeah.
The only question is, can I watch it without paying for Crunchyroll? Because I'm scared to pay for another streaming service.
Yeah. The thing is, if you pay for Crunchyroll, then you could just like pay for 1 month. You could binge Freerin. You could binge. There's a few other ones that I would recommend. I'd have to go look. I can't remember which one's on Crunchyroll, which one's on something else. But definitely Freerin. I would also recommend the Apothecary Diaries. That's also on Crunchyroll, and it's getting really good reviews. And I agree. And that has like 2% anime bullshit, but only in that certain characters have big booba, but there's no like fan service scenes. There's no like, oops, my clothes fell off. They're just like
not like Fire Force.
No, not like Fire Force. But like it's like plot relevant big booba because the characters are either courtesans or concubines. So it's literally like, yeah, the emperor is just a booby man. So all his concubines got big booba. But it is literally about like what it was like to be a woman in Imperial China and what kind of life you could live or could not and all this stuff. But also it's a mystery show with like almost episodic mysteries, but then some of them are tied together in a bigger one that are fun and exciting. And the main character is like one of my new favorite main characters. Her name's Mao Mao. She's an apothecary. She's basically a poison goblin in that she likes to test poisons on herself and see what the effects are. And she's an absolute little weirdo, and I love her. Like, she's great. Definitely check out Apothecary Diaries.
I will probably check out Freerin first before I check out Apothecary Diaries, but you can rest assured I am actually interested in checking out Freerin. So,
and I would say the dub is great for both. I watch both of them dubbed because sometimes, especially when I'm tired, my brain is just like, I'm going to read real slow, and I'm like, no. But I really liked both the dubs of that. I think that the main characters especially were very well cast.
All right.
Dubs, so.
Also with us, sorry for the anime derailment there, but hey, it's me and it's anime, that happens. Also with us, of course, is our resident sage of dad jokes, Altaholic, Tabletop Warlock, and blogger extraordinaire who apparently posts way too many screenshots in Discord of the benchmark. Hi, Brandon.
Nice incorporating into something we just talked about 2 minutes before we started recording. But I have to ask you guys, did you hear Taco? That's the wrong week. Did you hear about the Lalafell that checked into a hotel room and didn't leave for a full week?
No.
Yeah, it turns out he's a real sweet potato. It's a stupid potato joke, but I can't help it.
Wonder if that Lalafell works out, because if he does, he must have some very impressive yams.
See, I thought you were gonna go for like jacked potato.
No.
Like jacket potato. Now.
Now I want a baked potato. Damn it.
Yeah, man, me too. Shit.
All right. Well, it's been a month since the waifu wars and husbando hullabaloo came to a close. The murder, the bloodshed, the screaming has come to an end, and we are in the Dawntrail waiting room, as it were. First off, I will be perfectly honest. I have played some Final Fantasy XIV, but it has been very limited. That being said, the only Final Fantasy XIV I've really been playing is either logging on to do my casino stuff, which I still do about one night a week, and also I have been leveling Machinist to 90. I am so far at 77. I have not pre-ordered Dawntrail yet, but you can bet as soon as I hit level 81, I likely will, because that earring is necessary. But that's pretty much been the bulk of what I've been up to in 14, just kind of leveling the job I'm planning to main in Dawntrail. And I don't know, I don't dislike Machinist, but I don't know if I'm going to like it or love it until I get into the 80 to 90 range, because I feel like the stuff I'm doing right now, it's like, well, the rotation or stuff that I'm supposed to do now isn't really accurate as far as what you'll be doing later, because of
that is kind of the problem with leveling jobs, is that you don't really get the full synergy or game feel until you're at max level, and like everything is there. I think I would say that's like the one of the very few weaknesses of Final Fantasy XIV is like the way that they introduce the rotation. It's like, I know it's an MMO, you're supposed to like learn things as you go and everything, but I think that they balance it so much for endgame that it can feel really, it can end up completely different by the time you actually get there. That like, I got popped back down to level 50 on my summoner, and I was like, what the fuck is this?
Oh yeah, doing summoner in, even if it's MSQ roulette, or doing summoner in a level 50 alliance raid or in a leveling dungeon, summoner is totally different from how you play it in game.
Yeah, it's honestly, I don't know if I call it a weakness of 14, but it is very, very jarring to get used to, just how little they front load your abilities, and the fact that when you get synced down, they take stuff away from you or change it back to an older version. I mean, even doing early dungeons in Endwalker on Summoner, you're like, wait, where's my big beefy summons? This isn't what I signed up. Oh, right. We didn't get that to like 88 or something.
Yeah, I think, well, the reason I say it's a weakness is because you can't be like, hey, friend, I really like this class. Why don't you start leveling it to see if you like it? Because it's like, well, it didn't play like the way that I like it until like level 85. So fuck. I don't know. I don't know how you could test it out and see if you like it or not. Like you have to put in so much effort just to get to the point where, cause like with me, I enjoyed low level monk. I had a lot of fun with it. I had a lot of fun leveling it up. And then once I got past 80, I was like, oh, I don't really like this anymore. And then it was like, well, I'll just finish leveling it up. And I got it all the way to 90, and I'm like doing endgame content, and I'm like, oh no, I don't like it. I spent so much time on this. I don't like it.
That's very much how I felt my very first time playing Final Fantasy XIV. I mean, before this whole run to play Endwalker, Dawntrail, and stuff. We're talking years ago when I first played. I started as an archer, and once it went into Bard, like as an archer, I was loving it. Once it changed over to Bard, I wasn't liking the Bard stuff as much.
Yeah, it's a big change, and it's a lot of like, you gotta, it's all buff windows, which is, and like GCD management, which to me is like, sort of the hard mode of Final Fantasy XIV is the like, make sure you don't drift, make sure you're hitting your windows and everything like that. And, Bard is very hard for that, especially if you're doing like endgame content and stuff, and people are like, oh, you're playing Bard, you must be really good, because like, you could be playing Dancer and basically giving us like a slightly less good version, but you're going for the max. And I'm like, no, I just like to Toot my flute.
Toot my flute is a good candidate for episode title. I will have to make a note of that.
I do enjoy playing Bard, but for me, it's not a raid learning class. Like I need something simple for learning the raids because I cannot big brain on 2 things at once at all. And like Bard takes big brain. Dancer does not take big brain. Summoner does not take big brain. But even with Summoner, you could get kind of off on the window and you would drift, which
yes, you can. Like it, I will say I love Summoner. I will always, I feel like I will always play Summoner to some degree, no matter what expansion we're doing, but I'm not a good Summoner. When I can see, in a alliance or a raid or whatever, myself and another Summoner, and I'm two ranks below the other Summoner on the threat table, yeah.
It's very like, you gotta get all of your Bahamut punches in your Bahamut window and all. It's all very like GCD and
I always forget to hit the damage cooldown. That's my problem. Is I always forget to hit the damage cooldown when I Phoenix or Bahamut. If it's
you gotta line those 2 up, and then you gotta hit every hit on that in that window, and like. And also, maximally, you want that to be lined up with everybody else's buffs, so you're doing big boy numbers.
Right.
But, like, yeah, you can drift, definitely. And especially if, you're getting caught cutting off casts or anything like that. Oh, man, it can go wrong. But I'm hoping Pictomancer is not super complicated because it's what I want to play really bad.
Meanwhile, I'm over here sitting as a guy who does the raid storyline once and then pretty much never touches it again if he can help it, going, what the heck is drift?
Drift is when, so everybody,
Megan, I don't actually want the explanation because I don't want to learn about it. I don't want to know I'm doing it wrong.
I think listeners deserve to know what she's talking about.
Okay, so drift is so every single class has about every 2 minutes has like a big burst window wherein they're buffing themselves, and usually they're also buffing the party. And so what you want to do is make sure that everybody's buff windows are lined up. And by drifting, it means that you're either doing it too early or you're doing it too late. And that's because your cooldowns are off time with everybody else, and that can happen for a few reasons. It could be that you started too late, you started too early, you are not hitting your GCDs exactly when they need to be hit. So that you're having longer cooldowns. So it's basically just like learning how to smash the button in rhythm really, really rhythmically. Or you'll see a lot if you watch people stream and you can hear their keyboard, you'll hear a lot of, because they're trying to make sure that they hit the GCD like right when it comes up, and the easiest way to do that is just constantly mash a key until it's time.
I'm reminded of something that I learned of playing Warlock in World of Warcraft, and it applies, I think, to not only caster DPS, but almost any job here, more or less. The ABCs of MMO, that being always be casting.
Oh my god! I came up with WoW, and it was always be casting. But with Final Fantasy, it's always be casting and always be using your OGCDs, which is between the other casts. So you have two button cooldowns to worry about, and you have to make sure that you're hitting them both precisely when they come off of cooldown. And if you don't, that's going to add more time in between your spells, which is going to drift you. Yeah. It's not as bad as not hitting your cooldown for 10 seconds or something, but it's not great either. And it's honestly the biggest brain fuck that I had to get over coming from World of Warcraft, because World of Warcraft is just like button, light up, hit button.
Now, all this being said, if you aren't doing Savage Ultimate content Criterion Dungeons, you don't really have to worry about this.
Yeah. No, this is like if you want to maximize your DPS. This is like if you are in a situation where people are perhaps tracking some numbers and you want them to be pretty blue or perhaps purple. But even being a derp and not totally maximizing your GCDs, you can still get green. And I know this because I have. So yeah, also I will say the way that we track, or the way that serious raiders determine who is good at the DPS in Final Fantasy is the program compares you to every other person running that class. And so if you're playing a very popular class that a lot of people are very sweaty at, you are really going to have a hard time getting any good colors. But if you pick a class that is known for not being the best, or is not very popular, or is like, oh, it's subpar damage, but you are playing it really well, you'll get like purples and blues, and people will be really impressed with you. And you'll be like, yeah, even though like you're not actually pumping out as much damage as if you were, a sweaty samurai.
I have no idea which DPS classes are the popular ones and which ones aren't. I just know the ones I like and don't.
A Podcast Reborn does not condone the use of damage meters. Please do not install those.
Yeah. I've never installed it, but I've had it linked to me before. Okay, and I'm not gonna name any names, but like, yeah, never talk about meters in game. Only over Discord. Okay.
If you wake up one time and find yourself strapped to a chair with Yoshi P shining a light in your face, you'll know why.
I will. It wasn't me.
Dream.
I never did it. But I don't know. Generally, damage is pretty useless, or it's usually not the main reason they're not going to pass a raid. Although it definitely can contribute. If someone is just absolutely screwing up their rotation, then yeah, you're probably going to hit and rage. But most of the time, it's mechanics. Like, Final Fantasy is fucking brutal with mechanics. There is no such thing as a patchwork fight in Final Fantasy 14, okay? And honest to God, I miss those. Like, especially when you have such a complicated ass rotation, wouldn't it be nice to just be able to sit in one spot and just hit it very hard? God, I would love that. Just one time, Yoshi. Just let us, please. Just make it the target dummy boss. That's all we want. Just one time.
I'm trying to think of, and like nothing really jumps at me. I'm trying to think of what's the closest thing we have to a patchwork trial or raid boss. Like, there's some dungeon bosses that are like that, but
yeah, no endgame kind of, no raids.
Yeah.
No, like, it's always, you always gotta move. They love to just come up with the most complicated ass shit, and then they will never bring it back again. Like the fucking carbuncle fight where we have to like memorize the jump pattern of this giant monster, and it's gonna eat our ass. Oh my God. That, and it's always like this really weird ass complicated thing that you look at it and you go cross-eyed, and then you try it again and again, and then suddenly it clicks in your brain and you have no problem doing it, and then nothing like that ever shows up again, and then you go back again to do it later and you're like, oh fuck, it's gone.
You know what that is for me? The last part of the Alliance Raid series, the first boss you fight, I forget the name. But you have the square platform that turns like Zodiark did, but not that part, but the part where the things go into triangles, and then the triangle walls come up and start collapsing. Yeah, that part made me go, huh? Where the fuck am I supposed to stand? It took me about 3 weeks of doing it before I realized how the hell it worked.
Yeah, it's like there's always logic, but they've gotten so good at making something so confusing at first glance. And like, you have to go watch like 5 YouTube videos and still be like, what? Okay, wait, no, I think I get it. And then go back and then be like, no, I don't fucking get it. Like, it's always like somebody learns it and then they put the Dorito on their head and you follow them.
Random question. When it comes to watching strat videos, is there a particular channel or content creator that you like who explains things the easiest to understand?
I think Mr. Happy's a really good one.
Yeah, he's what I used to learn Alliance raids.
He does these videos where he'll literally do like a graphic setup, and he'll have like the picture, like a circle for the arena, and he'll have like the little boss in the middle, and then he'll have little dots for like what each of the raiders should be doing, and like he'll break it down step by step. And that's usually how you learn a raid, is that like you come in, you learn the first, you wipe, and then you learn the first mechanic, and then you wipe on the second mechanic, and you learn the second mechanic, and you wipe on the third mechanic, and you learn the third mechanic. And so having these videos that like break it down mechanic by mechanic and do it in a very visual way, I find it very helpful, because usually you're only working on one mechanics. And so he's got like the little timestamps. It's like, okay, we're on phase 4. Oh God, phase 4 DPS. What do I do? God help me. And I'm like, you can freeze frame his videos, or like screen cap it and pop it in your Discord and be like, no, see, I'm supposed to be standing over here.
For me, it's been a combination of him and MTQ capture.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the two I use whenever I go to watch a strat video. Although I will say that the first time that I do a trial or a dungeon, especially if it's like expansion launch and stuff, I try to avoid the video, because I want to try to learn and see if my brain can figure the stuff out without having to be told the stuff.
Yeah, usually that's the best way for normal mode, especially. Well, I would say normal mode generally. I think if there is a super complicated mechanic in a normal mode, it can be kind of fun to just figure it out and die a lot. And I'm like, I expect that. And whenever it's like the first week of a raid and like somebody's raging because we died 3 times, I'm like, bruh, first week, come on. Nobody knows.
Variant dungeon bosses were fun to just figure it out. I will say that. Like that was some fun stuff where I didn't watch a video, just to figure out how the variant dungeon boss mechanics work, especially when going different paths activates different abilities and all that.
Yeah. That was,
I just wait till my friends have done all the paths, and then I'm like, all right, bring me in there and tell me what to do.
Such a lazy gamer, Brandon.
I have small children who demand a lot of my time, so I'm like, when I'm in there, I need to be able to get stuff done. Mm-hmm. And that's why I'm leveling yet another freaking alt.
But that's why there's always the option of like asking or looking it up. That's why I always think that like, oh, you're not a real gamer unless you like did it blind and figured it out yourself and played it on the hardest difficulty. I'm like, poop on that, man. People have lives, dude. Sometimes they just want to, have fun.
That's some FromSoft fanboy level nonsense right there.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's right. I said it.
They're like, you're not allowed to use the mechanics that the creators put in the game because that makes it too easy. It's like, bitch!
Brandon, so you say you've been leveling another alt. Is that generally what you've been up to as far as 14 goes?
Yeah, pretty much. I've popped onto my other characters to do the 16 collaboration event just to get them the outfit, because it's pretty cool. And of course the dog mount, which is, of course, I love me some doggos. But aside from that, yeah, I've pretty much been leveling my Aura alt. We're in the middle of Stormblood right now. We are just starting to kick off, like into the point where it's starting to kick off into high gear with the Doman storyline. I think I'm on the quest right where I'm about to go with Yugiri to attempt to assassinate Xenos again, and I have no option to tell her this is a terrible idea, which is kind of not great. But what are you going to do?
Is it ass for me?
Is it time to punch the most punchable face in the game?
No, that's not Xenos. That's
Asahi. I know.
No, he doesn't show up till the Stormblood patches, I believe.
Oh yeah, little fucker.
Unfortunately, yeah.
It's still my favorite line from our last episode. That is Megan saying, "There is no one who is more that fucking guy than that fucking guy."
Honestly, that's like his ultimate title. It's like, Asahi, this fucking guy.
Speaking of the last episode, I want to go back to something you were saying earlier, Megan, about the carbuncle fights. You said he was a giant monster that was jumping around trying to eat your ass. Well, based on our conversations in the last couple of episodes, I'd have thought that'd have been right up your alley.
It's non-consensual, man.
Fully.
We're not binding our souls together in a beautiful representation of our love. He is shredding my ass to pieces.
I mean, that is kind of what you do with his descendants if you play Summoner.
No, he has to be sentient and he has to have a sexy voice, and then maybe. See, look, there is literally a fandom rule for this, and I'm trying to remember What's the name of the guy who was from Doctor Who and then he went to Torchwood and he is extremely hot?
The Jack Harkness?
Yes, the Harkness's law is that it has to be sentient, it has to be like intelligent, and it has to be an adult, and so for its species, okay? And then it's fair game. Those are the two rules. And so Carbuncle is not sentient, all right? So it cannot consent, so we can't bang it. Sorry, monster fucker. Negative.
I mean, it might be sentient. You get imprisoned inside that prison for however many years they had stuck in there.
No.
Maybe it's just
kind of your
rage.
That's why Carbuncle's not okay, but Dragon's totally fine.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. Look, if I walked up on the Carbuncle, he was like, "Hello, my lady. I am a person and I like to talk, and also I'm a..." Like, all the dragons are like really good people, usually, except for like Nidhogg. Nidhogg's fucker. But everybody else is like really cool. And like, if I went on a long ass quest with Monster Carbuncle and he showed me his noble spirit and he had a sexy voice, I'm not saying it wouldn't happen. I'm not saying I wouldn't be like...
Showed you his noble spirit? Is that what they're calling it now?
Yeah, it's what's inside that counts and a little bit outside.
Really?
Oh, Nelly.
Oh, boy.
This is not what I expected to happen when I made that joke, but I honestly shouldn't be surprised.
Look, man, I will have a discourse on monster fucking anytime you like.
How about never, then?
You brought it up, bitch!
I was trying to make fun of you!
You did this to yourself, Brandon.
You can only make fun of people. You can only make fun of people who have shame, and I have none. So,
unfortunately, accurate.
Speaking of sentient, intelligent, and all that, and you did mention that you'd done this. What did you think of the 16 collab? Mind you, Megan has not played 16.
I have not played 16 in the game. No,
don't spoil stuff from 16 outside of what was in 14.
I haven't played 16 either. I still don't own a PS5.
Is it ever coming out on PC?
Eventually,
it should be sometime this year.
Okay, I really want to play it and now I extra want to play it because goddamn, Clive.
So I think the final DLC, there's a second DLC for the consoles that's supposed to be coming out this month. In fact, I think it's like in a week or two. My guess is that the PC version will be out like a couple months after that and there'll be a complete version that has the DLC and the main thing all bundled.
Okay, nice. Cool. But okay, can I just gush for a second about Clive's design? Okay.
Sure.
Look, his outfit is like the way that you do slutty but still masculine. Like, he's got the low V-neck and he's got like corseted sides on his leather top that suction cup his outfit to his boobies. He has man cleavage. His bulge is so freaking detailed. Whoever designed Clive knew what they were doing. And what they were doing.
I have never stared at Clive's bulge. Thank you.
Just put the pants on your own character. You're going to be
here's the funny thing. Here's the funny thing. My glam for Machinist and Dawntrail, I'm basically using Clive's glam, but instead of the red, I dyed it metallic gold.
Yeah, see, look, then you've got it going on, man.
Yeah.
Holy shit. The, like, shoulder pads that make his shoulders a little bit wider. He's got tall...
I think Zim commented about the bulge when I was wearing that glam. Now
that I think about it. It is incredibly detailed. Zoom in on that shit. It is... Oh, my God. I was like, who made this?
Okay, here's the deal about that glam set. I'm leveling 5 jobs on this all because he's on a road to 80 server. So they're all leveling very, very fast. And I'm just basically doing one of each role so I can do all the role quests in Endwalker and Shadowbringers.
Mm-hmm.
So I have a glam set up for, basically 1 to 2 glams for each of those jobs. And then I made a third glam all using that particular outfit with a different weapon that looks good with it. And I've got that basically on all 5 of my jobs at the moment because I just made it, so why not? I've never noticed that at all.
Well, I am a woman of discerning tastes and close inspections. But I just want to say, when 16 came out, it was like a total meme that like Clive is a total vamp and like so super hot and like everybody's very thirsty for him, but they kind of pinned it on the voice. And I was like, okay, yeah, because like to me, voice is very important for a character's attractiveness. But this quest had no voice acting, okay, and I was still like, holy fuck.
I think,
and it's like downgraded because he's in 14 graphics. He's not in full PS5 glory. I'm just like,
I will drop it in Discord for you. I think there is a YouTube video out there of Ben Starr doing the lines.
Oh my god. Like, he's just, it's like, it's too much, buddy. Come on. What have the fangirls done to you? Why must you destroy them this way?
From what I can tell, he apparently revels in that.
Okay.
He loves it.
Same as Astarion's voice actor, apparently.
Question, Ro. You like ladies, right?
Yeah.
Are the women as hot in 16?
One of them definitely is, and the other one is pretty nice.
Okay. Then I'm bisexually diving into this fucking game the second it comes onto PC, and you will not hear from me for weeks.
The first, without spoilers, it would be the first adult woman that you run into early on in a cutscene should be the one that I say yes. Very much.
Well, I was looking at Clive's outfit and I'm like, whoever designed this likes men, and so I'm like, what is the designer into both, or are they just really into men? But if they're into both, then that's fucking great for me.
I will also say this: I have a friend and a person in my free company who, just to give you some backstory on them, spent a lot of time doing some very, guy on guy supernatural fan fiction. And she is basically completely gone all in with Clive and 16's version of Sid. Cause every,
I was going to say the Sid, avoiding 90% spoilers, the Sid in this version of 16 is probably the hottest and most bisexual version of Sid in the series.
Correct. Yes.
Oh God, I can't wait. I want this. I want it right now. I don't even care if it's like a scuffed version. I'll still play it.
By the way, Jess, if you're listening, hi. And if I got any of that wrong, I'm sorry.
Also, I'm just excited to see another story from this team that I love so much. Like, damn.
The music, though. I mean,
there was some of it in the quest line. I was like,
yes, there was some of it in the quest line, and there's one particular music called "Find the Flame," which you hear kind of near the end of the quest line when the whole slug out is going between spoilers, the two Ifrits. That dun 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 dun. That music.
It while I was kind of annoyed at the level of spoilers that were in the quest, it was really cool to see an Ifrit kaiju fight, and I know that that's kind of like the game hook for 16, and I was like, okay, yeah, that looks really fucking cool. I wanna play this.
Summoner kaiju fights are a big deal. It's not everything, but they are a pretty big deal.
I want it. I don't have a PlayStation, Yoshi! I PC only. The only gaming console I have is the old ass PS2. Ancient. I had it in high school. On which I played my Final Fantasy X-2, baby.
So, what I imagine you'll likely be playing before you play Final Fantasy 16 on your PC is Dawntrail on your PC. The benchmark for Dawntrail came out earlier today, as we're talking like early this morning, and we've already in our podcast Discord, we've already done the equivalent of whose dick is bigger. and
most recently,
right, yeah, and I beat Dawntrail and posted a screenshot where my score was 20,000. So,
I didn't even notice the score, man.
I was honestly shocked the benchmark even ran on my desktop because my processor was below the minimum system requirements, so I just thought it would say, ha ha ha, no. But it actually ran on a decent score for like the standard settings. So I was kind of shocked about that. So I guess the game will at least run on my desktop.
I cranked it up to maximum because I got a new game drive. And I wanted to see, and I'm very pleased with how my cat girl looks in the new graphics. I love the skin textures and the hair. Oh, it looks so good. The eyes look fantastic.
The screenshots you posted looked great.
And like a little cryo walks up and she's in the new Lalafell skin. Oh, she's so cute. And her little Pictomancer outfit. I'm hype. I'm hype as fuck. And now I gotta wait.
Hrothgar looked awesome. You can create a benchmark.
Oh my god. I like, of course, first things first, I gotta see what my cat girl looks like. But then after that, I was just tinkering around with Hrothgals and I was like, oh, this is way better than I was anticipating. I'm excited. They're so cute.
The hairstyles are really good.
Yes, they are.
More would be better, but baby steps.
Now that Yoshi P's like, all right, no more player character races, maybe he'll start expanding the options on the ones we have.
That I would much prefer that to a new character race. Would be like more options. I also was very impressed by all the leaves that they were constantly going on about at FanFest when I was there. That was like what Yoshi was most excited about with the graphical update. He was like, more leaves, more foliage, and like while our characters running through the jungle. I'm like, you know what? Yeah. Looks good. Good job, buddy.
You better believe it.
So a couple nights ago was the most recent live letter, and I stayed up to watch it. There was no English translation, but what I was in the Discord for the translations and stuff. And I'm watching this thing, and okay, it's a better looking game now than a better looking game for Dawntrail than it is now, which is fine. And I respect and appreciate how proud Yoshi P and his crew are of all the changes that they made and all the time that they put into making certain parts of this game look better. Maybe there's something wrong with me. I don't know. But like from my point of view, I guess that level of detail has never been a big deal breaker for me if the grass is super HQ or if it's a little pixelated. So I guess what I'm saying is I play a wide variety of games. I'm not a graphics snub. I'm not someone who's real snotty about like, oh, that's a bad looking game. That looks like it was made 15 years ago. I don't care. So the graphics updates are definitely going to be appealing for I'm sure a large chunk of the player base. It's just not my thing.
I get what he was talking about because the character models I think the character models are still so pretty. Like now before the graphics upgrade. And there were specific scenes that I think he was referring to in fucking Endwalker where like oh god, what's his name? Tall depression man and his bird girl. Hermes and Medion and you are talking outside and like it's a beautiful scene. There's this incredible skybox and then he wants to do like a lower angle because it makes sense for the cinematography of the scene. And you just have these janky ass grass leaves poking into the frame and they're literally boxes of pixels and it looks not great. And I'm like, ooh. And so I can definitely understand wanting to be able to zoom in closer, like get more literally into the bleeds and have it look good. I can totally understand that as like somebody who also creates visual stuff that like, oh yeah, you want to capture the certain angle? Well, you get ready to have literal green blocks just floating in your face.
And when you're going to have an expansion where you're in areas where there's a lot of lush vegetation and such, I totally get how graphic quality is going to be more important for you there.
I just think it's cute. It's like one of those things that if you're into computer graphics, it's something that you totally nerd out about, especially just the like polygon count and all the little leaves and stuff. And it's the way that it's done. It's cool. It's like, I get that most people are going to be like, grass, really? Leaves? That's what you're worried about? But it's like, it adds to the whole package. It adds to the whole experience. It's more immersive. And I do remember being on that quest, seeing the janky ass grass like fill the frame and like kind of giggling a little and getting taken out of the scene, being like, oh Lord, oh look out. The pixel grass is here.
I mean, I say that about grass and vegetation and stuff like that, but then at the same time, like one thing that I do like is how fancy spell effects and ability effects look. So and for some reason, like spell effects and ability effects are important to me, but background and stuff isn't. I don't know why I'm that way. I guess maybe it's because these are the abilities I'm casting, so I want them to look cool because they're mine. I don't know.
Yeah. I think
it is the thing you're probably paying the most attention to, that and the the models of whatever you're fighting.
Yeah,
true. I just think that it's part of making it a more immersive. Yeah,
sure. Absolutely.
Yeah, and it's fun. It's cute. I think to see them geek out about how much better the leaves and the grass is now. And it is something that I know a lot of the times they put up the old Lalafell and the new Lalafell. People are like, that's the same picture. What the fuck? But the grass, you can really see the difference. And so they're very excited. Look how much better the grass is. And people are like, okay. But it's exciting for them. And I like it.
The most telling improvement for me, when they were showing the old version and the new version, one of the Aetherites in Elpis, you see the current version on the left, and it's it looks fine, but then you see how much better it is in 7.0, and that thing just has a shine on it. It looks more genuinely like living crystal, and that part impressed me by you can really see a difference there.
They've been pushing the tech that they've had to the absolute limit. They have made such incredible work with it so far, and I'm so excited to see what they're going to come up with this new stuff. But now that they have more modern tech to work with, it's going to be incredible, and I'm so jazzed. And I love seeing people talk about things they're excited about, even if I'm like, grass, okay, cool.
Yeah.
He's like, look forward to the leaves. I'm like, I will, sir.
I think Yoshi P just misheard the old threatening line of "your ass is grass," and we all thought we were all saying your grass is ass.
Speaking of ass, speaking of ass, the thing that I was the most excited about from the live letter was all the information about improvements to mute list and blacklist functions.
I think I missed that. What?
Okay. So
do you mean asshole?
So here's the thing. When 7.0 comes out, you'll be able to mute list and blacklist people. And if you don't let's say you're at a player event, right? And someone's being disruptive and stuff, if you mute list them, then you will not see anything that they say and stuff. They also made an improvement to blacklisting in 7.0, where if you blacklist a character, you won't even see the character.
Oh,
so
wow.
if there's a really rude, naked, fill in the race person in Limsa Lominsa, I'm sure every server has a few of them, that are typing in yellow chat, and you're sick and tired of the stuff they're saying, and you blacklist them. Not only will you not see the stuff they're saying, you literally won't see them in the game. The only thing is, if you somehow you can end up in a duty and possibly be randomly matched up with someone on a blacklist because the duty stuff is done differently. But if you end up in a duty and someone in your party is from that blacklist, you'll see the character and stuff, and you can temporarily give them the opportunity. You can temporarily flag them so that you can see the stuff they're saying, or you can just keep them muted. But they go into a lot more detail on it, on news sites and recap sites for stuff. But listening to just how much they're adding to the mute list and blacklist stuff as the live layer was going on. They're I think they're doing a lot, not just to curate the a player's personal experience, but I think it's going to be huge for like venues and public events and stuff.
I do think they need to do some work on their account system to where not only should you be able to blacklist somebody at the account level so they can't just hop on an alt and continue harassing you.
Oh, that is another thing. It is account wide.
Oh, it is.
Like if you blacklist a person, all their characters on their account are blacklisted.
Okay, that is fantastic. Great job, guys. Now, can we please friend people at the account level?
Right. Oh, by the way, there's the list is for the blacklist is only 200 big. And like that may sound like a bad thing, but honestly, if you have to blacklist 200 people, you may have to ask yourself who's the problem.
In this community, I can honestly believe that. But, for something like any other MMO, I'd be like, nope, too small.
Yeah. But no, I was excited about that stuff for sure.
That is cool. I'm glad to see we're getting some account-wide progression. Some progress on account-wide system stuff, because frankly, I believe that is one of the key weaknesses of this MMORPG. They need to, be better about letting you do stuff on an account-wide basis, whether it's friending people or tossing to the curb.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, how many times have you had people say like, just trying to sign up for an account is the worst part of this. I couldn't even get past that. So I'm hoping there's more improvements to come in this arena, because frankly, it's a little bit overdue.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we may find out more about that stuff in about a month, because the next live letter is only a month away. Live letter will be the one where they have the job action trailer and such.
Yes, that's what I want. I love the job action trailer. Every time it comes out, it's always so much fun to watch.
The benchmark trailer though showed off classes doing some new abilities. Like I noticed there was a summoner using an ability that was very lightning based, and it has me kind of excited.
Oh, I hope that's that. I need to rewatch the benchmark trailer again, because I think I missed that one. The one I was focused on was the Dragoon ability that summons a full-on shade of Nidhogg.
Yeah. Did you see the Machinist one?
Was that the one where they had the giant chainsaw?
Yes. An even bigger saw.
Kind of looks like a gear to me.
Yeah.
Maybe it's like a gear launcher.
Whatever it is, it looks amazing, because you know how much I love me some Machinist.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You throw metal at it in different ways.
We already have that. It's called Dismantle. They took it away from us, and then they gave it back, and I'm so happy.
Oh, man. That really made me think of the new Fallout show. You guys seen it yet?
I've not. Whenever I get a day off from work, work has been really crappy of late. But whenever I get a day off from work, I plan to watch it.
I was never really into the Fallout series, so I hadn't planned on watching it at all.
It looks good. It looks really authentic to like it. If you played Fallout 4, the scenes and the setting and stuff, they really did a good job of capturing it.
Do you enjoy dark humor?
Depends on the day.
Well, I would say that even if you know nothing about Fallout, it's a very good action show with a lot of dark humor in it and a very interesting world. And the world building is also full of dark humor. It's like I'm really enjoying it so far. We're at episode 5 out of 8. We're probably gonna finish it later tonight. But I played a shit ton of Fallout 4. Although I treated Fallout 4 like settlement builder.
Sim settlements.
Sim settlements. You could make a whole little trade network with each other and all. I was so into that.
That add-on is great, but it may get broken temporarily in a couple weeks.
Oh yeah, that's true. Well, I haven't found out.
They're coming out with a next gen update for Fallout 4 in a couple weeks. So for for modern consoles and PC is going to be for current graphic hardware and stuff. And that's great and stuff that they're doing that. But on the bad side, if you would do if you run Fallout 4 with any mods or such like that, a lot of them will temporarily break while modders have to update and fix their mods.
Yep. Well, I'm used to that with The Sims.
I know a lot of people who are used to it with Final Fantasy 14.
Oh, boy. Oh, well, The other thing that I've been doing that has kind of a similar dark sense of humor is playing Helldivers. You guys tried that out?
Oh, you got into that, huh?
Heard of it, haven't played it, but I've seen gameplay of it.
Ward has become like obsessed with it, and so he's been trying to get me to try it for like weeks, and then I finally tried it, and I was like, fuck, this is really fun.
It's basically Starship Troopers the game.
Yeah, basically, except you also can fight Terminators, and they keep coming up with new, galactic menaces to show up that we have to defeat for democracy.
For democracy, yeah.
For managed democracy, okay? Like, we can't have full democracy. That's crazy. But yeah, the funniest part about it is that every time that you die, your respawn is just another Helldiver gets like taken out of cryosleep and shot down to the planet. So your guy's dead forever. Like every life of yours is like another human being. So you're literally throwing them into a meat grinder. But also friendly fire is always on. I have been nuked from orbit several times. By my teammates, and I don't know, it's just like the gameplay is just really fun, even though like it's hard for me to explain like how it's different from other. It's not even FPS, it's like a third person shooter. I don't know, the game feels really fun, and I love the goofy ass atmosphere, and I love that like you literally just pick like, are you bulky or are you thin, and then there's like 4 voices, 2 masculine, 2 feminine, and like that's all you know about your character. They're just full helmet, full everything.
Very, very Doom-esque in that sense, where it's Doom guy, It's, you're a Helldiver person.
It's also it's like you are like faceless and you're just meat for the grinder, but also you're very happy and enthusiastic about it. Like the voice lines in the game are just so fucking funny. Like if your character gets shot, they're like, "Sweet liberty."
Wow.
It's just very entertaining. I don't know how else to put it. I was like, yeah, looter shooter, whatever. I've seen those a million times. I don't know why. This one is just fun. It's more fun. I think also it's because the matches are generally pretty short and there's no like I didn't really like Destiny because it was like more MMO based where there's like quests and there's a story and you gotta like grind up your points and you gotta level up and before you can actually play the content. This is like, nah, get on that planet. There's bugs. Shoot them. I'm like, yeah, let's do it. So yeah, it's fun.
Outstanding.
Mm-hmm. I'll probably it on stream because I've promised to build a zoo.
Megan, have you, Ward, and your friends had time to game together in MSQ and stuff?
We've had one night where we could get together. Unfortunately, one of our friends, it's a married couple, the husband's been really busy at work, but we got one night in and we managed to kill the Pope. As you do. We saw Astinian grab balls he could not handle. And fucking just like fly off. And so it's like you kill the Pope. Astinia grabs the balls, goes and then just like turns into Nidhogg and flies off. And then Midgardsormr shows up and he's like, "Yeah, that was some shit. Anyway, let's get out of here." And you're like, "Okay." And you like jump on the dragon. And you just fly back to the airship. And I'm like, "Guys, we got some good news. We got some bad news." Like, do you think they saw Nidhogg just go right past them? Because they're all like, "Oh, good, you beat him. Where's Astinia?" And I'm like, "That's the bad news."
Yeah, about that.
He got Nidhogged. Don't ask what that means. So yeah,
there's another episode titled "Astinian Can't Handle His Balls."
So we got to the end of the Heaven's Word expansion. Now we have the patch content. So hopefully, I'm hoping we could play more again soon because patch content's really fun and cool, and we really want to get the restoration open so we can get a guild house in Nishgard. That was the whole plan. Yeah. And yeah, I'm hoping for the best. But probably next time that they log on, they're going to want to do the Clive event because it's timed.
Right.
And they missed Noctis. They don't got the car.
They've got till May 8th to do the Final Fantasy 16 crossover event, and starting up in about 10 days. Okay, Megan, I need you to do a favor for me.
All right.
Please educate me on what the fuck is Yokai Watch?
Oh no.
Oh god. Okay, it's like Pokemon, but it uses mythological creatures from Japanese mythology, folklore.
Okay.
So yeah, yokai are absolutely fucking bananas. They're it's kind of like a catch-all term, like gremlins or goblins. They're like little creatures that generally just do mischief, although some of them are a bit more murdery. Some of my favorite yokai include the giant invisible wall that blocks travelers. So you're just walking at night and you just smack into an invisible wall and you're like, what the fuck? So you turn around and go the other way and it sneaks around and you smack the wall again. And like, that's all it does. It doesn't hurt. It doesn't like, kill you or eat you. It just blocks your path for a while, then fucks off after it gets bored.
From what I can understand, yokai is kind of a blanket term for anything that is vaguely supernatural.
Yeah, well, yeah, it's usually like more mischievous than straight up harmful, unless we're talking about the Kappa, because that thing is fucking terrifying. But so Yokai Watch, it's like these little kids gotta catch them all. They got this watch, so lets them. I don't know. I've never really seen it. I just got it through cultural osmosis. The watch lets them like catch the yokai and use them to fight. It's a little like shonen battle thing, but for like Pokemon's for like 10-year-olds, Yokai Watch is for like 8-year-olds. It's like younger.
Gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And yeah, the Yokai Watch event in the game lets you get like a bunch of the yokai as pets, and you get a little Yokai Watch yourself. And
you get a bunch of weapons that are themed after various characters in that show.
Yeah.
My guess is
some of them are cool, some of them are really dumb. It's like literally absolute bonkers. And they like all the characters in Yokai Watch are not actually, because you're going to run out of, mythological creatures after a while. So they have things like a robot cat, which, is actually one of the cooler ones in my opinion.
If you've ever seen someone riding around on one of those cat couch things that carry people around, that's from the event. There's like a ghost car thing that's also from this. Most of the weapons are way too like over the top cutesy for my liking, but some of them are kind of adorable.
The machinist gun is based off of the RoboCat, and I like it, but I love cutesy shit. It's got a little cat face on the side, and it's like blue and silver, and it's got like big bolts because it's cartoony.
Now I know what I have to get if I'm going to have a machinist. It's like, okay, now I know my target.
Believe it or not, despite my dislike of most things anime, I actually collected everything from this event the last time.
Really?
Yeah, because I had a whole bunch of friends who were doing it. So I'm like, all right, yeah, I'll come along. Just why the heck not? And then once I started doing it, I'm like, well, now I feel like I should be completionist to get all of them. I'm guessing because I think they've added some, new jobs. I don't know if it's one or two expansions worth. So we might get some new weapons this go around as well.
See, in my opinion, there's what Americans think of as anime, and Yokai Watch does not belong in that category. Yokai Watch is more like what I think of as like Japanese cartoons, as in like they are for kids. It's not exactly great quality. It's not high, storytelling. There's no Sakuga. I know you don't know what that means. There's no like incredible.
Well, just like that, I wouldn't even say Pokemon is really anime.
Well, I say Pokemon can have its moments, and it also depends on which series we're talking about.
Some of the Pokemon movies feel very anime.
Yeah, and I would say like Crayon Shin-chan is like a Japanese cartoon, and like even Detective Conan to some extent. And there's just a shit ton of like low effort Magical Girl series that there's like 1 bajillion seasons out of that. Like nobody really bothers translating them or anything because they're obviously literally for like 8-year-olds. And Yokai Watch is just in that category. So I don't think you're going to find any hardcore anime otaku being like, oh my God, Yokai Watch. Like, no. Like Pokemon got us by the balls when we were actually 10-year-olds. Yokai Watch, nope, not so much. Yeah, and yeah, they don't even bother translating it for like kids these days. So, I don't.
Also, but Also, there's quite a bit happening between now and Dawntrail launching because Moogle Treasure Trove, second one's going to be in the month. Make It Rain is happening at about the same time. Then there's here's something I'm excited about, even though it's been a while since I played Dragon Quest X. There's a Dragon Quest X collab event? I guess they're bringing back. So I'm wondering.
King Slime Hat.
Yeah, is that the slime hat one?
I've wanted that forever.
Wait, is there a please tell me there's at least a slime minion or slime mount.
I don't think there's a minion or a mount, but there is a hat.
That's a missed opportunity.
I've seen the hat, and it has some great jiggle physics.
I bet it does. I bet it does.
Oh gosh,
it's like one of those things I would see on characters. I'd be like, "Oh, I want that." And they're like, "Yeah, sorry, it was an event from like 5 or several years ago. I can't get it anymore." And I'm like, "Dang it! I wanted a gooey, bouncy hat." For reasons. Don't ask what reasons. It's literally like a slime on your head that's wearing a crown on its head, so it's like a double hat. Yeah. Look, jiggle physics are important to me, alright? We'll just leave it at that.
Yeah.
No, I don't mod the jiggle physics, okay? Like I respect the fucking vanilla code.
There's an interesting question. Will Dawntrail include enhanced physics of the jiggle variety?
I kind of wonder, because it seems like they're not doing it on like the programming level. It seems to all be on the asset level. So I'm curious. They already bounce great. Let's just put it that way.
Sure.
Like get a Mikote and just like have him jump up and down a few times. It's 2 thumbs up. Anybody, I would also like some booty jiggling, but you know, I understand that in Japan they're a little behind the times on the ass physics.
How long will it take you to press the jump button on a female Hrothgar once you create one?
Oh my god, that's like probably one of the first things I'll do. The first thing I did when I got into the Hrothgar creator menu was slide the boob all the way up to see how big they got.
Oh boy, of course.
I had to know. The answer
for science.
Not terribly big, but you know, they are there. They don't have no boobie. And I'm like, I can appreciate this. You guys are more, I don't know, bestial. I don't want to see 6 boobies. I'm not into that level of, I'm not a furry, okay? Like, I'm a monster fucker, but I'm not a furry. These are 2 different things. Let's keep them separate.
I feel like I need to clip that. Like when I just introduce you, I should just play that sound. I just want to be clear. I'm a monster fucker, but I'm not a furry.
Yeah, man, this is very important.
You've got values. You know.
I feel like that says a lot about me. You know, like you hear that statement, you're like, oh, okay, I understand this person. You know, I should just put that in my bio. A monster fucker, but not a furry. Cat Mom Megan, she, her, podcaster, artist, monster fucker, but not a furry.
Oh man.
I have a stun debuff for about 15 seconds now.
I have no disrespect for furries. Like, honestly, I'm in a glass house on this one.
Yeah.
I will not throw stones. I think furries are cool. They know what they like. And that's a step ahead of a lot of people. It's not my bag, baby. Like, not the way that it generally is presented, you know? Like, I look at furry art and I can appreciate the artistry, but I'm like, I don't want to fuck Nala, you know? Like, no, thank you. I like lips. I like human lips. But, you know, I say this saying that I would readily fuck a dragon. I don't know. It's gotta be, I don't like the humanoid in my monster, you know? Gotta keep those separate to a degree. Although I do also think Aura males are hot, so Aura, everything's hot shit, man. I don't know. There's like a gray zone.
You're a very complicated person.
There's 2 circles, and one is like hot normal people, and the other one is monsters. And then like towards the middle, there's like like fur, like kimono mimi, like cat girls with cat ears and tails, and like aura with like scales and things, but they're mostly normal people. And then in the middle is like total furries, like anthro characters, all of that. And then on the other side is like humanoid-ish monsters, like I don't fucking know, like they have a humanoid shape, but they're like, covered in tentacles or whatever. And then there's like total like dragon, big dragon guy, whatever. I'm just not interested in that very middle category.
Gotcha. I'm glad we took the time to dissect this.
Yes, man. Look, this is important discourse. This is honestly, and I also believe that like Final Fantasy is on my side. because they've only included the things that I like. They've not made, I would say, Hrothgar the closest that they've gotten to like furries, but I would still say they're on the like humanoid monster side and not really the super anthro side.
To borrow an internet meme here, you have the power of Yoshi P and anime on your side.
Yes.
Oh gods.
Anything either of you two want to talk about, or you're hyped about, or excited about before we wrap up here?
I mean, I've been dominating, so just step back a little, let everybody simmer, and that vomit I just gushed into their lap.
I feel like I need to go take a shower now, and it was just an image in my head. Come on.
Yeah.
Well, in that case, I will say start the shower, and I'll bring us to a wrap up here. Brandon, where can people find you on the internet?
I am the BMAT pretty much everywhere. I'm most active these days. I suppose on Bluesky, even though I haven't posted there in forever, so I don't know if that even counts. If you want to check out what I feel like talking about in my brain to an audience of no one, you can go read my blog at yourquestlogisfull.wordpress.com. There's some Final Fantasy XIV content in there, but mostly it's been tabletop RPG character creation, because that's one of the things I really love doing. You can also catch me on, speaking of D&D, the podcast +5 to hit. We're recording another episode tomorrow, and I'm super excited about it because the last time we recorded, we had a complete turnaround from the episode before that, where the 2 episodes ago, we all got nearly murdered to death. And then the episode after that, we had like the most complete opposite successful crashing of Rose plans.
Yeah,
so
pretty much a win-win all around for the party.
Yeah.
The party did good.
I'm excited to see what happens tomorrow.
It's time for payback. What?
Oh no.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm looking forward to that as well. Megan, I see you've been playing a lot of Zoo Planet lately. Where can people find you and all that?
I'm Cat Mom Megan everywhere. It's all one word, and Megan is MEAGAN. I'm on Twitch Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday from 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. Right now, we are working on Derplandia Zoo, which is in Planet Zoo. Our biggest exhibit is the beavers, and right now we're working on.
Of course, it is.
I can't escape the beavers. Right now, we're working on a giant enclosure for some cougars. So.
Of course you are.
You can imagine how that's going. Stop on by anytime.
Oh my gosh. It never ends. Beavers and cougars. I mean, that's par for the course.
The jokes write themselves, I think.
Yeah. So there's a lot of awkward conversation with my. Also, I just try to Planet Zoo is a really fucking complicated game, so I'm pretty much constantly explaining what I'm doing and why I'm doing it and how I'm doing it. So if you want to learn how to play Planet Zoo, stop on by. But I'm really obsessed with Planet Zoo, and I have to promise myself not to play it off stream because it will rule my life. So that's what we're doing on Twitch. Otherwise, you can find me on Twitter, on Bluesky, but I pretty much only use those to announce when I'm streaming. On Tumblr, I pretty much only use that to reblog crack shit at 2 a.m. that I think is funny. And on TikTok, where I post stream highlights, but I haven't been doing that for a while because it's kind of hard to like find a clippable thing. Well, I guess it's not. I guess maybe I can probably find some clippable shit from my Cougar Beaver streams. But
when are you going to resume what your race says about you?
I should. I've just been so busy.
You're just getting to the
too
good ones,
busy
right?
with the Beavers and the Cougars, Brandon.
Of course.
I'm going to try to get back into making more video content, and that will be the first thing on the agenda. Will be what your Final Fantasy race says about you. I still have some of the videos pinned to my TikTok channel if you want to see that. That is also Catmom Megan.
Because I believe you left off at Rogaden, didn't you? Or did you actually do Rogaden?
No, I didn't do Rogaden. Rogaden's next.
Okay. That's I'll be honest, that's the one I'm looking forward to.
Well, I was gonna make the joke about you're like sing the Steven Universe Giant Woman song, but then I turned that into a Karlach thing.
That is true.
Parody instead. But yeah, basically everything I say about Karlach is true if you play Rogaden female. Like all you want to do is be cleanly broken to by a giant woman. Anyway, I'm sorry. This is supposed to be just like a quick, like, you can find me here, but fuck, man, this is how my streams go, by the way, if you come
to
watch me. It's literally like, okay, I'm gonna start doing this. Oh, wait, shit, I forgot about this thing over here. Oh, wait, hold on, we gotta do over...
Oh, squirrel.
Point.
Basically, yes. And then I'm like, oh my god, 5 hours have passed. How did this happen?
Yeah. I know that feeling recently playing a little game called Belatro. I'll be playing it for like 10-15 minutes. Next thing I know, 4 hours have passed by. What?
Yeah, man. It's that genre. Like, there's just games, I call them time skip games. Yeah. Where I'm like, I'm going to play 5 minutes of this. And then I'm like, oh no, it is morning.
What happened? Why is it so bright outside?
Oh, frick.
You can find us on Bluesky at A Podcast Reborn. You can also email us at apodcastreborn@gmail.com. We are part of Bonus Roll Productions. You can go to bonusroll.gg to find out more about us. Check out the shop, maybe buy a shirt or whatnot. The theme music this time is provided by Husky by the Geek, and a link to his YouTube channel will be included in the show notes. That music and any derivatives of Final Fantasy XIV music you hear on this podcast belongs to Square Enix, and no copyright infringement is intended. That is going to do it for episode 51. Episode 52 will be coming at you sometime within the next few weeks. Not sure if it'll be 2, 3, or 4 weeks away. We'll see. We're still kind of in the waiting room for Dawntrail, but I'm pretty sure we're going to have at least 2 episodes, if not more, before we get to the launch. Especially if I'm able to get Kyle and Garrett from Grind to Gear on before then, which is definitely the plan. So look forward to that. In the meantime, for Megan and Brandon, and of course for Butterscotch and Bonbon, this is Brian Black. Until next time, may your loot rolls be high, your glamour fantastic, and your duties always complete. Brandon?
Let's get some low-hanging fruit here. What do you call a gathering of Viera?
Oh, wow, I feel like I should know this.
A roll of buns.
A harem.
It's pretty good.
If I can get Megan to cackle like that, I figure I've done my job.
It's like double entendre because there's harems in anime, and the bunny girls are sexy anime girls.
Yeah, thank you for explaining the dad joke.
Goodbye,
no problem,
everybody.
citizen.